Hello my loves, and welcome back to our Cosmic Community Hour. Today we are chatting all about something that's incredibly important to anyone, but especially dancers, and that is imposter syndrome. What usually holds people back from achieving their potential, whether that's in life or in dance, is imposter syndrome, because it makes us feel like we're not worthy to be in a specific place or to be doing a specific thing. So in this video, we're going to be going over what imposter syndrome is, how it affects your dancing, why it takes our power and our worthiness away, how it has affected my life, and the ways that you can move through imposter syndrome to really come out on the other side empowered and confident in whatever it is that you're going for. But before we get into that, as always, I'm going to show you the oracle card that I pulled for you today. It is a magical, beautiful card as always, and really resonates with this topic. And stay tuned for the end of this video, because I'm making a really important announcement that's only going to be made here on the membership until it launches on August 2nd. You babes are going to be the first to know, the first to have the opportunity to get into the door of this thing, so make sure you stay tuned until the end. So the card that we pulled today is called the Golden Children, and it says inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. If you pull this card, it may be a sign that you're being called to mother, father, or nurture a child. You may be called to tend to your own inner child, a creative idea or project, a new beginning. To treat yourself or the new beginning with sweet, tender love, to nurture and nourish it, to give it every chance to grow and reach adulthood, to encourage it, to water it, to see the world through the innocence of a child, to see yourself and all others as innocent children, to remember that deep down everyone is trying their best, and if they're treated with a tender heart, they'll not harden as they journey through this great adventure called life. How can you treat yourself or others more tenderly? So as always, this is a perfect card for this chat today, because when we are stuck in imposter syndrome, it means that we're being really hard on ourselves. We're expecting something out of ourselves that maybe isn't there yet, or maybe it's just completely different than our actual reality. So this card is encouraging us, like it says, to nurture our dreams, to treat it like a child would treat it, right? With openness and wonder, and then the ability to just try, and maybe you fail and that's okay, but to go into it with no expectations and to just nurture your discovery, right? This is saying to give it a chance to grow and reach adulthood. So when we are stuck in imposter syndrome, usually that means that we end the path that we are on early, because we don't feel like that our abilities are ever going to improve, or we don't feel like we can ever reach a certain level, so we just give up, right? And this is saying to just let it grow and to let it be nurtured into adulthood, into what the possibilities are for this specific outcome, whether you are just trying to be a better dancer, or whether you're trying to start a business, or whether you're trying to climb up the corporate ladder. Whatever it is, just give yourself the grace, just like you would a child maybe trying to walk or to say their first word. You're not going to be hard on that child and force that out of them, that outcome out of them. You're going to nurture them into it and give them grace, right? And then it says, remember deep down, everyone is trying their best. You're trying your best. And if they're treated with a tender heart, they'll not harden as they journey through this great adventure called life. And that's saying that if we're really hard on ourselves, it'll harden us, right? It'll cause us to not go after what we want, because we just know that it's not going to be what we wanted it to be, or it's going to make us have a negative outlook on life and a negative outlook on anything that we desire. So when we give ourselves that grace and that nurturance and kind of soften into our inner child and give our inner child some love, then we can really enjoy the process, because everything's about the process. It's not about the final destination. So when we enjoy the process, it just makes life that much more magical, and we can even come through the other side of that experience with a greater outlook, greater abilities, and just a greater love for ourselves and appreciation for everything that we are trying to accomplish in this world. It is no small feat to go after something that maybe scares you a little bit, or something that you've never done before, or something that you feel like maybe you're not good at yet, quote unquote, right? It's an amazing thing thing that we get up the courage to do that. So just don't give up too soon. Just keep working for it. And I promise the outcome will be 10 times more beautiful than you could have ever expected. So now let's get into our topic today, which is imposter syndrome, and it goes so beautifully with the card that we just pulled. I actually looked up the definition of imposter syndrome, and I wanted to share it with you babes. Imposter syndrome is loosely defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. So this goes beautifully with the card that we just pulled because it was all about being too hard on ourselves. And when we're too hard on ourselves, usually it's a perfectionistic tendency. It means that we don't feel good enough. And so therefore we don't feel worthy to be in a particular space, worthy to have whatever position that we have, worthy to be dating this specific person, right? It can be in all areas of our life. This comes usually from comparing ourselves to others, which I've done a whole chat on comparison. But when we do compare ourselves to others, usually we find ourselves to be less than. No matter how good our abilities are, no matter if those people aren't even paying attention to us or watching us at all, we compare and we scrutinize ourselves to the point where we just stop doing the thing or we let fear get in the way. So how does this affect our dancing? So it affects our dancing in so many different ways, but the most important way is that we are fearful of showing our abilities because we don't want to be judged. We don't want people to laugh at us. This comes from like childhood wounds, and that's why this card that we pulled was so important, because it was about nurturing that inner child. But usually when we have these feelings like we're going to be embarrassed or people are going to say negative things about us in our dancing, it comes from something that happened in childhood. It comes from maybe not feeling enough in your family or feeling enough around your friends, or maybe it was a dance recital that you fell on your face and everyone laughed. Like, those things happen when we're kids, but they deeply affect us when we're adults. So even if we are an amazing dancer, we usually close ourselves off from really showing that. And especially if you are in an in-person dance class and people are watching, right? For me, this was the big experience that I had. I would just freeze. I would get so nervous that people were watching me. And I felt like that those people were so much better than me and that they would be judging me. And so instead of dancing to my best ability, I kind of played into that trap of not being good enough, and it was like a self-proclamation. Like I messed up the choreo, or I messed up the timing, or it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then we could go one step further to say that imposter syndrome causes us to not even take the dance class at all. So maybe that's something you've experienced before, where you went to a class or you took an online class and the dancers were a little bit more advanced than you, or you just felt like that the choreography was too difficult, or that your level just wasn't where it needed to be. And so when you watched yourself on video, it was more painful than just not taking the class at all, right? And those are just really harmful ways to view ourselves and to view our dancing. We all do it though. Like, I've done it. I still do it when I take really hard dance classes with advanced instructors. So we all go through this, right? But then what ends up happening is that we just don't take the class, or we just stop dancing because we never feel like we're going to be worthy enough to be in that space, that we're going to be at the level that all of those other people are at. But the problem is the reason that those people are there is because they fought through the imposter syndrome. They didn't let it affect them. They kept pushing forward, even though that middle ground is what I always tell people is the hardest. It's like the beginner to advance, this intermediate space. Trying to improve your dancing, trying to get better is so much harder than just the beginner phase or the advanced phase, right? Because we're like working through the internal chatter and we're working through all of these technicalities in our dancing, right? Or if it's pertaining to life or dating or anything like that, I feel like that middle stage is just the hardest for everyone. But the people that come out the other side of it are the ones that have that spark, that magic, that special energy that is so magnetizing to watch. So ultimately, this takes our power away, right? It takes our self-worth away. We give it to these people who are quote unquote judging us, or we give it away to our fear. And that is the most devastating thing that we could do, because we're really just wasting this precious time that we have on this planet to do these things that make us happy, that bring us joy, to advance in areas of our lives that we want to. We're just like handing our time to the universe and saying, here, take this, I'm not gonna use it. And that to me is so sad that we do that to ourselves, because look where we could be if we just worked through those challenging times and believed in ourselves a little bit more. In a couple months, 6 months, a year, the amount of time that you would have advanced versus sitting on the couch being upset because you're never gonna be good enough is just mind-blowing. And I know this from experience because I did it my entire ballroom career. And to me, I feel like that's ultimately why it didn't work out for me, because I was so stuck in this place of not feeling like I was supposed to be there, of feeling this imposter syndrome. I literally never felt like I was meant to be there. And because of that, my abilities just stopped growing. And because of that, my performance just stopped growing. I think I watched a couple videos a while back of my like 3rd year of dancing versus like my 5th or 6th year of dancing ballroom. The improvement was just really, really small. And it was not because I wasn't practicing. It wasn't because I wasn't trying hard, because I was in my head. I was constantly in my head, and I was self-sabotaging my entire experience. Now, this reversed when I started dancing heels and burlesque, because I fixed the mental side of things. But until we get our minds right, until we break through that imposter syndrome barrier, we're going to be stuck in those really toxic thoughts and habits. So this is a very intense topic, and I want to lighten the mood a little bit and tell you how we can overcome this, because this is not doom and gloom, baby. This is something that we can work through to come out the other side, like I said, and really step into our magic. So the first tip that I have for you is to really stop comparison in its tracks, because usually imposter syndrome means that we are looking at other people and saying that they are more worthy to be there than we are. So to stop it in its tracks, all we have to really do is train our brains that as soon as that thought comes up, we replace it with a positive belief. So let's say I'm thinking about, oh, this girl does those turns way better than I do, or her performance is way better than mine is. Why don't you replace that with, my performance is really good right now, but it could improve. Why don't I look at her for inspiration versus comparison? Because we can really retrain the experience of seeing other people online or seeing other people in a dance class. Instead of comparing them, we can really pull inspiration from them and feel uplifted and inspired versus getting down on ourselves and it really going nowhere from there. My second tip is to take a class that scares you. So if you find yourself stuck in this imposter syndrome, usually that means that we have put a pause on taking things that challenge us, taking classes that challenge us. And so go for the class that you know is going to scare the shit out of you and take that class, because once you do that class, even if you feel like you totally bombed it, it doesn't matter, because it's the growth that comes from that class, that challenge, right? We always grow through the challenges. So when you take that class, it inspires you and motivates you to take another and another and another. That way you eventually feel really good in that space. So taking a dance class that scares you or doing something that scares you is going to give you so much more empowerment and motivate you to just keep moving forward. And then the third and most important tip that I have for you is to stop the negative self-talk. And this is definitely the hardest one, because our brains are always going, right? They're always going, and unless we are conscious of what they are saying to us, usually it's negative. And when a negative thought happens, it's just like a snowball rolling down a hill. We have no control over this thought pattern. So one thing that I've been doing lately is when I have a negative thought, I'm very aware that it's happening, and I try to replace it with something positive, or I try to say to myself, I'm sorry for that thought, I will try to do better next time, or I'm sorry for that thought, I didn't mean it that way, this is what I actually feel. And just start to have a conversation within your brain, and that can really help you to replace those thought patterns and to not think as negatively, or maybe instead of just having a lot of time to think and to ruminate on things, I like to listen to podcasts, or I like to put on some music, and that kind of taps me out of my mind, because when our minds have a lot of time to think, I don't think it's very healthy for us, especially with this age of social media and everything that's going on. It's it's so easy to fall into a negative trap before we even realize that it's happening. So either replace those negative beliefs with positive beliefs, stopping the self-talk, or doing something that helps you focus on positive things, whether that is a podcast or music or something like that. So your homework for this week, my loves, is to take a dance class that scares you. So whether it's an intermediate or advanced class here on the membership, or maybe it's a class in person from someone that you just feel like you're not good enough to take their class, you are so worthy to be there. And I'm telling you, when you face that fear, it's going to change everything for you, and you feel so much more empowered to go after the things that you want. So that is your homework for the week, and now it's time to make this very exciting announcement that I discussed at the beginning of the chat, which is my new program that is launching on August 2nd. I cannot believe it. It is here. The name of the program is Confidence, and this program is all about stepping into your confidence, stepping into your body love, putting on a high heel, and really just owning who you are, owning your body, and really reaching that level of dance that you've been desiring to reach. So a lot of times we take classes online and we do the choreo, or we go to an in-person class and we just feel off, right? And I think that feeling off results in us not having our technique down, the basics of dancing in a heel down, as well as our confidence and our self-love is not there. So when it's not there, our dancing is not going to look the way that we want it to look. So this program combines a holistic approach to our dance training, really focusing on getting your confidence up, your body love up, and really upping your level of dance, taking it to the next level, and helping you to feel so confident on and off the dance floor. So this 90-day program is going to take you through my entire process of being not confident, not really a great dancer, and not feeling good in my body, to a level 10 on the confidence scale and the body love scale, and on my dance abilities. So I designed this program specifically for you babes. On Instagram, I ran a poll and asked people what they were seeking more of in their life, and it was confidence, body love, and better dance ability. So I have designed this program exactly for you. This is for the beginner dancer / intermediate dancer wanting to really up-level their dance ability, their performance. And we do this through heels and burlesque, so you're getting both styles of dance that I absolutely love. So focusing on building the confidence, building the body love, really tapping into our sensuality, and just empowering ourselves through dancing in a heel. So this program is going to be life-changing. I'm so excited to share it with you babes, and there are only going to be 10 spots available for this first round, and this first round is going to be 50% off. The price is going to double the next time that I run this program. So if you want to do this program, this is the best time to do it, and I'm sharing this offer just for my Studio Soli Luna babes, because I want you to be the first to have the opportunity to get in the program, get on the wait list, and make sure that you have a spot in this life-changing program. If you want to secure your spot, go ahead and DM me on Instagram, and we will get you set up on a discovery call where I can tell you all about the program, really understand your goals for yourself and for your dancing, and to see if this program is a perfect fit for you. And I really just want people in this program who are serious about transforming their lives, who are serious about taking their confidence and their dance ability to the next level. And this is work. It's amazing work, and it's rewarding work, and you can come out the other side a completely different person. But this 90 days is really gonna make you go internal and to heal those wounds, and to heal our confidence, to heal our body love, as well as get through those blocks such as imposter syndrome, to take our dancing to the next level, because that's really hard to do on your own. And this one-on-one, this group experience is really going to help you to achieve those things way faster than you could have ever done on your own. As you know, community has completely shifted my life. It's shifted my dancing. It's shifted the way that I see myself in the world. And so community is going to be a huge part of this experience, of this program. But if the program is not for you, or we don't feel like it's a good fit, always remember that this community here is for you, to support you and love you on your dance journey. So if you're so excited about confidence, then make sure to send me that DM on Instagram, and we will get your call scheduled ASAP. I love you babes to the moon and back, and I will see you here on this couch or the dance floor very, very soon.